Hello. In this lesson, we're going to look at harder algebraic fractions, the ones that come up in the 5.3 course. They're different from the ones we have been doing because they incorporate factorizations that are only in 5.3. So we'll see things like special products, factorization by parts, and the PSF method to factorize quadratics. And really, all of this content has been leading to this point where we can use these factorizations to simplify algebraic fractions. So this is our first question. We've been asked just to simplify this equation here. So we're going to begin by trying to factorize it as much as we can. And I can look at the top and I can see that I'm going to use PSF. So if we go PSF, we're going to have a product of 2, sum of 3, and factors of 1 and 2. So I can factorize the top to 1 plus x plus 1 and x plus 2. And then the bottom has x plus 2. We can put brackets there just so we understand what's happening a bit better. Now, we can factorize because we have these common things the same. Just like if we had 2a over a, we can factorize these. Each of these parts here, so the whole 2 plus a is the same as this 2 plus a. And because that's being multiplied together, we can cancel them out. So we can cancel down and we end with a much nicer x plus 1. And so that's the solution to that question. So that's just this part left. Okay, now to add and subtract, we need to remember the denominators have to be the same. So again, we start just by factorizing. So we have 4 over x, and then x plus 1, minus 3 over, this is a perfect square, x plus 1, x minus 1. So we can see some similarities and some differences between these two. So in both we have our x plus 1, but the x minus 1 and the x are different. So to get the denominators the same, we have to multiply this one by x minus 1 on the denominator and the numerator. And then over here we need to multiply by x on both. So we can then rewrite that, and I'll expand some of these brackets as well. So we're going to get 4x minus 4 and minus 3x over x minus 1, x plus 1. And then we can just simplify it down. So we're going to get x minus 4 over x minus 1, x plus 1. And now there's nothing left that we can factorize, so that's as simple as it goes. All right, now we're multiplying. And again, as usual, we're just going to factorize our equation, our expression. So we're going to take 3, just taking out our highest common factor, m minus 2. Can't factorize 4 times 8m over m, highest common factor again, m minus 2. So now we can cancel the crossways. The m minus 2 is in both of these. Again, as I said before, this is like, so if we had a fraction a over b times c over a, we could cancel these a's. So it's the same thing that's happening with m minus 2 here. We could also cancel these m's down, and we could also cancel the 4 and the 8, leaving 1 and 2. So that's going to then leave us with 3 times 2, which equals 6, and that's the simplification. So you can see here the whole point of this factorization that we've been doing is to get from a big equation like this to something much simpler like this one. All right, finally we have this equation. Again, we factorize to 4. We have a difference of 2 squares, x plus 3, x minus 3. We have plus 2, and we'll factorize the highest common factor, x plus 3. Now, again, we want the denominators to be the same, so we need to multiply the first one, numerator and denominator, by 3. And the second one, we're missing the x minus 3. So we get x minus 3 and x minus 3. So we'll expand this and make it a bit nicer. So we're going to have 12 plus 2x minus 6 over 3, x plus 3, x minus 3. And then we get 6 plus 2x over 3, x plus 3, x minus 3. Now, we need to be careful that's not as factorized as it could go, or as simplified as it could go. With this part here, we can now factorize out our highest common factor. So we're going to do that. We're going to take our 2 out. We're going to have 2 lots of 3 plus x over 3, x plus 3, x minus 3. Now, you may or may not have noticed that these two are actually the same, because 3 plus x is the same as x plus 3. So we can cancel these ones down. So we can cancel our 3 plus x, now x plus 3. Now remember, when we're cancelling, everything has to be multiplied together for cancelling to work. But we can now clean this up, and we're going to get 2 over 3x minus 3. If you've had any questions, please do bring them to class. I hope this lesson's been helpful. Thank you.